Hey guys, let's talk about the new appendix in the waistband holster from Dark Star Gear called the Perseus. This is their premier model. It is the top of the line. And as someone who has used Dark Star Gear for as long as I can remember, they have been one of the names in the game for appendix in the waistband for, I'm not sure how long they've been making holsters, but it's been quite some time. So I have a pretty good collection of their holsters and their mag pouches, etc. And so I thought I would run down this latest addition to their product line. I got to tell you up front, I am a fan. It is sleek, it is smoother, it is easier to carry, it rides better than any of their previous models. And that's not to say that the previous models were difficult to use. I've used pretty much all of their holsters in some way or other. And I can tell you that this is just built on the legacy of their past work with models such as the Orion, and people are probably more familiar with. Now, I have a collection of these holsters and I'll splash that up for you guys to see. I'm a fan. It is easy to see that I'm a fan. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit. They come in a couple different options for belt attachments. I'm not married to any kind of belt attachment dogma. I get it. There are people out there that argue that you always have to have metal clips, or you have to have hoops, soft belt hoops, or you have to have one solid metal clip, or that plastic, especially the new generations of plastic, work well. I have used all, and I continue to use all forms of belt attachments. And I found they have strengths and they have weaknesses. There's pros and cons to everything. Pick the one that you like best and stick with that. That's what I would recommend. I have seen them all break in iterations. If you know me, you know that we go hard, we train hard, we pressure test our gear ourselves, we pressure test everything. And I've had metal clips break, I've had metal clips bend and warp, plastic clips bend and warp. I've had the soft loops tear completely off the holster, all kinds of good stuff, man. So with anything, do what works for you. Test it and practice with it and make sure that it suits you and your use, your intended use, right? For me, most of the time, I'm wearing some sort of athletic gear at this point in my life. I'm wearing workout pants, joggers, gi pants. Sometimes I'll run out real quick from the gym. Might be wearing board shorts, that kind of thing. So for most of the time, I'm gonna go with the metal or the plastic clips because I just don't have a belt. So I do have a waistline or drawstring, whatever you wanna call it. So whether it's the metal or the plastic, both work. And as you can see by the design here of the plastic, it pretty much is going to grip and hang on, and it locks in. There's a lot of cool things happening here with these holsters, and I want to break it down for you and I'll tell you to the limit of my knowledge. I'm not pretending to be an expert on holsters. I give input on holster design. I give input to guys that make holsters on, what I think they should do to improve their product, but I am not a holster maker and I don't play one on TV, man. I just use this stuff. I run it until it breaks and then I get another one. And I fully expect my gear to break at some point. So like I said, I don't get married to a particular clip or anything like that. I've seen it all work and I've seen it all fail. And so I'm of the mind that it's not if, it's when your gear is going to break on you. So just be prepared for that. And that goes for guns, knives, flashlights, everything, pepper spray. It doesn't matter, man. It will fail you when you least expect it. That's Murphy's Law. So let's get into the gear because that's a happier subject than my gear failing me, right? So, hey man, listen. Here is the back side of this holster. I hope you can see it. I am filming this on my iPhone because my camera is down and I'm gonna make the best of it. So front-facing camera, so please understand. Now, this is the Perseus for the PDP, the Walther PDP. As you can see, it is clean, man. Look at those lines. The lines are clean. The back of the holster, man, it's just smooth. There is so much detail. It's very cool, very clean. I love it. It's got room for an optic, so you can have your optic mounted. It also has it for the front sight, so you have room if the front sight's in front of the optic, all that good stuff. Whatever your flavor is, this holster will accommodate that. Also, you can hear here, it's pretty good. It's got a pretty good lockup there. So I do appreciate that. I like the ability to do the shake test and not have my pistol fall out. So yeah, that's with the solid metal clip. Again, like I said, I am a fan of these only because of my life and my life choices, how I go about my day. For the most part, I'm in joggers, athletic gear. Now, this is the same holster, and this is for the M&P. As you can see, I'm gonna move this out of the way so you guys can see, man, look at the detail. It's got the wing. Now, all of these holsters will have the wing that Tom uses for Dark Star gear. I like this wing. There was a time where I wasn't a fan. I was liking the wings that were more like a solid block, and then you could just adjust them by adding or subtracting plates to the wing. But this has grown on me, and it has like a little bit of a lip here. I don't know if you can hear that or not, and if you can see it. It has a little bit of a lip here, so you can kind of see that a little, I guess. There's just some ledges there. That helps to kind of grip and get a bite on the inside of your pants, so it kind of keeps it in place. I know there's people that aren't a fan of the wing, but for me and my purposes, again, the wing works really well. Now, these are the pull dot belt loop, soft loops for your belt. Again, for most of my life, I'm not wearing a belt. And yeah, so there's no real functional application for these in the world that I'm in. However, if you are into that, if you wear a belt, when I do wear a belt, I do appreciate having the ability to just kind of clip these on around, say, a belt loop that might be in a weird spot or something like that. Being able to just lock that down. Now, same holster again. Look at that, man. This is a Glock, and you can see the kind of the way this is made, the fit and finish. I have high sweat guards on all of mine. If I'm running an iron sight pistol, if I'm running the optic, same. I just like a little bit of a standoff between my skin and the slide, the optic as well. And I don't know, it's just something I like. Now, if you don't like that, you can get them, you can cut them down if you have the expertise. You can modify it to make it where it's comfortable for you, but this is how I like my stuff set up. Again, soft loop, pull dot, and again, you can hear, you know, that's just, man, that's money. Listen to that. Right? Not going anywhere. Pistol stays in place. Passes the shake test. Now, this is my fourth. Yes, I have Dark Star gear holsters for all of my pistols. Why wouldn't you? Now the cool thing about this one, and I don't have my other Berettas out here to show you, but this design works with the 92 FS, so your standard non-light rail model. It also works with all of the light railed Berettas, 92 variants. So I have the 92A1, I have the M9A1, and I have all the different variants. So there's all these different variants, and Dark Star made this so that this holster will work with all of them. I don't know how they did it. I really can't explain that, but I told you I'm not a gear guy in that sense of the word. But there it is, man. Passes the shake test. It's not going anywhere. Pistol sits in there. And this is one of my everyday carry Berettas. So it's a little beat up, it's got some wear and tear in there, but this thing runs. And having it in this holster, yes, Berettas are heavy. Having it in this holster, I'm not saying you forget it, because you don't ever forget that you have a pistol on you, right? I'm not saying that you forget it's there, but you definitely don't notice the discomfort of it being there. You know it's there, but it's not uncomfortable. If that makes sense. If you've carried an appendix in the waistband for any length of time, you will probably know exactly what I'm talking about. You get hot spots, you get different things, you have to kind of move it around. I don't have to do that with this pistol in this holster. It rides fairly comfortably. And again, having the option to use this with 92 compacts, all the variants of 92s that I have, which if you're listening to ATF, I don't have any. This isn't even real. But for the rest of you guys, I have basically at least one of everything. I am a Beretta fanboy. And if you followed any of the stuff I've written over the years and any of the videos I've done and stuff, then you'll know I have a thing for 92s. And having the ability to just have one holster that works for all of them, money, that is worth it, man. So there's that. Also, this has instead of having the one metal clip like this one, this has two. So these are separate, and that works out really well too, because I can wear this with dress pants or any kind of pants, jeans, whatever, that have a belt loop, and this will just fit right. It seems like that belt loop is always right there, right? And so this fits right around it, and yeah, makes life a little easier. And then last but not least is Darkstar Gear's version of a holster that works for 2011s and 1911s. Now, as with anything, if you're going to try to make something that works for a lot of things, there's going to be a little play in there. There's going to be a little bit of looseness that just can't be avoided. But this holster, I like it. It works well for all my railed 1911s. It works for all my 2011s. They all fit in this holster. Now you can hear there's a little bit of slop. I don't know that it would pass the shake test, but it definitely is holding the gun there well enough for me. I don't put a lot of emphasis on weapon retention, on passive weapon retention. I don't put a lot of emphasis on that. I don't expect my holster to do my job. I do expect the holster to have it there when I need it, and I do expect it to, within reason, hold the pistol in place, which is usually a combination of your belt tension and the holster itself. But I don't get too wrapped around the axle if it's like, it makes it so you can barely get the gun out. I want it to lock up, you know, I want it to lock up, but there's a little play, but that's to allow for the variations that I have of 1911s and 2011s to be able to work in this one holster, to have one holster that'll do everything. Again, sometimes in achieving that goal, we sacrifice some other stuff. So again, the wing, and this one has the plastic. I hate to call it plastic because it's not really plastic. It's some sort of magic here with fiber and poly, whatever it is, it works, it's great. This thing doesn't, like, they don't bend and then stay bent. They go back to their original shape and position. So I have no concerns with that one. This one has the higher wing on the outside to protect the ambi safety. So I have ambi safeties on all my 1911s, and the role that this plays is that it protects that ambi safety. So let me go ahead. As you can see, inert training round in there and inert training round in the mag. What this does is makes it so when this is in the holster, you can't hit the safety. I can't disengage the safety. I still have the grip safety in play. I don't do any of that stuff. I leave the safeties as they are, but it's just nice to have that second layer to protect the safety so that when I come out of the holster from appendix and I start to drive onto the target, I'm the one that actuates the safety and not getting bumped or knocked around or whatever while in a bit of a scrum. So I hope that kind of sheds some light on these variations of the Perseus that Darkstar Gear has put out. They are releasing it. I just saw some advertisements for it online. They are starting to put it out to the public now. I highly recommend these holsters. I think you will enjoy them. They have a smaller footprint than previous iterations. They ride a little smoother. I don't know what they did differently this time. The polymer, the product that they use actually feels like it feels grippy, if that makes sense. It feels like it kind of like sets, it grips your clothing and stuff when it's in the waistband, but it feels smoother. Like there's no sharp edges. Like it feels like the sharp edges have been taken off, and yeah, it's a much more comfortable ride, man. I don't know how they did it, but I'm glad they did. So guys, I hope that exposes you guys to some different holsters that are out there, some possibilities, some things worth checking out. And if you do have any questions, hit me up, send a message, or leave something in the comments down below, and I will respond. I'm a big fan of this stuff, and also I like a lot of you guys, I dig gear, so I like talking about it. So hit me up, guys, if you have any questions, any comments. Appreciate you guys. I'll talk to you later.